Hey guys, so it's a really cold, rainy day in the library today. And so Slappy and I decided that we were going to start a Goosebumps book with you guys. So we'll just read a couple chapters here and there so you can tune back into our YouTube channel to keep up with the chapters. But we are actually going to start reading The Curse of Camp Cold Lake by R.L. Stine. This is one of my favorite Goosebump books, and it's just the perfect weather today. We have the lights all turned out. Miss Newton's not here, so we're alone in the library, just me and Slappy. And we're gonna share our favorite, my favorite. I'm sure he has his, thoughts about the Living Dummy being his favorite, Goosebumps books, which those are cool too. But The Curse of Camp Cold Lake. So we're gonna read the first couple chapters. And Slappy has my flashlight for me so that I'm not too much in the dark. Hopefully, I won't get too scared. All right, chapter 1. I got off to a bad start at Camp Cold Lake. I was nervous when I arrived, and I guess I did some dumb things. Well, I didn't want to go to a water sports camp. I don't like to be outdoors, and I hate the feeling of grass brushing up against my ankles. I don't even like to touch trees, and I certainly don't like getting wet. Sure, I like to go swimming once in a while, but not every day. What's the point of that? I like to swim in a nice, clean pool. I took one look at the lake here and I was sick. I knew there had to be horrible things swimming around in that water. Ugly creatures waiting below the surface, thinking to themselves, Sarah Mass, we're waiting for you. Sarah, we're going to rub our slimy bodies on your legs when you swim, and we're only going to chew off your toes one by one. Yuck. Why do I have to swim in slime? Of course, Aaron was so excited. He nearly exploded. When we climbed off the camp bus, he was jumping up and down and talking a mile a minute. He was so crazed. I thought he was going to burst out of his clothes and go running into the lake. My brother likes camp. He likes sports and the outdoors. He likes just about everything and everyone. And everyone always likes Aaron. He's so enthusiastic. He's so much fun. Hey, I like to have fun too. But how can you have fun when there are no malls, no movie theaters, no restaurants to get a slice of pizza or a bag of french fries? How can you have fun up to your neck in a freezing cold lake every day? In a camp miles from town, surrounded on all sides by thick woods. This is going to be awesome, Aaron declared. Dragging his duffel bag, he hurried off to find his cabin. Yeah, awesome, I muttered grimly. The bright sun was already making me sweat. Do I like to sweat? Of course not. So, why did I come to Camp Cold Lake? I can answer that in 3 words: Mom and Dad. They said that a water sports camp would give me confidence. They said it would help make me more comfortable with the outdoors. And they said it would give me a chance to make new friends. Okay, I admit it. I don't make friends easily. I'm not like Aaron. I can't just walk up to someone and start talking and kidding around. I'm a little shy. Maybe it's because I'm so much taller than everyone else. I'm a whole head taller than Aaron, and he's only a year younger than I am. He's 11. I'm tall and very skinny. Sometimes Dad calls me Grasshopper. Guess how much I like that? About as much as I like swimming in a cold lake filled with hidden creatures. Be a good sport about it, Sarah, Mom said. I rolled my eyes. Give camp a chance, Dad added. You might surprise yourself and have a good time. I rolled my eyes again. When you come home at the end of summer, you're probably going to beg us to take you camping, Dad joked. I wanted to roll my eyes again, but they were getting tired from all that rolling. I gave my parents a glum sigh. Quick hugs, and then I followed Aaron onto the camp bus. He grinned the whole way to camp. He was really excited about learning how to water ski, and he kept asking everyone if the camp had a high diving board over the lake. Aaron made 3 or 4 good friends on the bus ride to camp. I stared out the window, watching the endless blurs of trees, thinking about my lucky friends who got to stay home and hang out at the mall. Then, here we were at Camp Cold Lake. Kids pulling their bags off the bus, laughing and joking, Counselors in dark green t-shirts greeting everyone, pointing them in the right direction. I began to cheer up a little bit. Maybe I will make some new friends, I thought. Maybe I'll meet some kids who are a lot like me and we'll have a great summer. But then I stepped into my cabin. I saw my 3 bunkmates. I looked around and I let out a loud cry. Oh, no way! Chapter 2. I guess I shouldn't have freaked out like that. It made a very bad first impression. But what was I supposed to do? There were 2 bunk beds in the cabin. The 3 other girls had already chosen their beds. There was only one left, right in front of the window, and the window had no screens, which meant that my bed would be crawling with bugs. I took one glance and I knew I'd be swatting mosquitoes every night for the whole summer. Besides, I can't sleep in a top bunk. I toss and turn at night. If I slept on top, I'd fall on my head. I, I had to sleep on the bottom, in the bed against the far wall, away from the open window. I, I can't do this, I blurted out. My 3 bunkmates turned to me. One had blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. Near her was a short girl with long brown hair. In the bottom bunk against the wall, another girl with long braids stared across the cabin at me. I guess they wanted to say hi and introduce themselves, but I didn't give them a chance. Someone has to trade beds with me, I cried. I didn't mean to sound so shrill, but I was really upset. Before they could answer, the cabin door swung open and a sandy-haired young guy in a dark green camp t-shirt poked his head in. I'm Richard, he said. I'm the boss guy, the head dude. Everything okay in here? No, I cried. I couldn't stop myself. I was just so nervous and unhappy. I can't sleep in this bunk, I told him. I don't want to be near the window, and I need to sleep on the bottom. I could see that the other girls were shocked by my outburst. Richard turned to the girl who was sitting on the bottom bunk against the wall. Brianna, would you trade beds with Sarah? I told him. Would you trade bunks with Sarah? Richard asked Brianna. She shook her head so hard that the beads in her braids rattled against each other. I really don't want to, she said softly. She pointed to the girl with long brown hair who sat on a camp trunk. Meg and I were bunkmates last year, Brianna told Richard, and we kind of wanted to be together. Meg nodded. She had a round baby face, squirrel cheeks out to here, and she wore blue and red braces on her teeth. I can't sleep in front of the window, I insisted. I really can't. I hate bugs. Richard stared hard at Brianna. How about it? Brianna groaned. Oh, all right. She made a face at me. Thanks, Richard said. I could see he was studying me. He probably thinks I'm a real troublemaker, I thought. Brianna climbed off the bottom bunk. She dragged her duffel bag across the room to the bunk by the window. It's all yours, she muttered. She didn't say it in a friendly way. I felt bad. My bunkmates hate me already, I thought. Why do I always do that? Why do I always get nervous and start off on the wrong foot with people? Now I've got to try really hard to make them my friends, I decided. But a minute later, I did something horrible. So that's the end of chapters 1 and 2. So I'm going to give you a question to think about that you can respond to in the comments of this video. So I want you to think about Aaron, Sarah's brother, and some of the things that he was doing and saying that let us know kind of what type of character he is. And I want you to come up with a character trait that you would use to describe Aaron. And then I want you to come up with a character trait. How would you describe Sarah? Thinking about the things that she's saying, the things that she's doing, how she's kind of talking to people, how she's feeling right now. Come up with a character trait for Sarah. So you can do one for both or just pick one and give me a character trait. Just make sure that you tell me in the comments who you're talking about and how you would describe them. And remember, we're always thinking about the fact that characters change throughout the story. They're not always going to stay the same. So if we describe Sarah as one way now, she may not stay that way throughout the whole book. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But so far, Sarah is at camp. She doesn't like camp. She said lots of things and did lots of things so far to let us know that she's not happy. But she's stuck at this camp, and we're just going to have to wait and see how she goes through the rest of her time there and if her bunkmates decide to be friends with her. So you can also be doing a little bit of predicting whether or not you think her bunkmates are going to end up liking her or if they're going to have kind of problems throughout the whole story with her bunkmates. So if you will leave me a comment, let me know that you watched this, if you like our book so far, and some character traits.